This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online
Look,
library
enough. You can get the Truefire All Access Pass for as cheap as they ever do it, the $99 thing. So just jump and do that if you're looking for the best price you can get Truefire All Access for.
So anyone who knows anything about Robben Ford, who I think known for his amazing blues playing with Joni Mitchell, playing with Miles Davis, but also for the connection with Dumble. I think for me the first name that I think of when I hear Dumble is basically Robben Ford, and Robben Ford was responsible for Howard Dumble trying to get that sort of sound that the ODS became, allegedly. So anyway, I saw him playing in Bath in Komedia in Bath earlier last month. My buddy Jake was supporting him with Laura Evans, and he sounded amazing. I was kind of surprised though to learn. So when I spoke to Mad Professor, apparently he had a few of their pedals on their boards. They told me in an email, but I don't think they knew that he was using the Simble at that point. Now for years, the Zendrive has been a staple on Robben Ford's board, actually more consistently using a Zendrive than the Dumble, to be honest, because he tour, Europe and do stuff on twins or red knob twins and stuff like that. And then lately, even in the UK, he's using the little Walter amps. So the Zendrive has been basically the key to his tone since, well, apart from being Robben Ford, obviously, since the 2000s. And so to me, it's interesting that he switched it out. So let's see, because I thought cynically that the Simble was probably actually a Zendrive schematic anyway, more or less, right? So are they that similar? Why has Robben switched them out? Let's dig into it a bit. So the story of the Zendrive basically goes more or less like the Howard Dumble thing. Alfonso essentially decided, I think he was a NASA worker or something like that, like a space guy. That's the official term, isn't it? Space guy. Basically loved Robben Ford's tone and wanted to put together a pedal that would get somewhere in that ballpark. Now, knowing that the initial Dumble thing was sort of based around a tube screamer into a bassman type sound, it makes sense that this is sort of in the tube screamer tree of life. A lot of pedals are quite similar in some ways, and it's not necessarily a shock to some of you to know that, but I think also small differences can make quite a big difference in the end. And does this actually work exactly like a tube screamer? Not really. And it's got more knobs, etc. So is it just a tube screamer? No. So the way that ended up working, I think basically Robben Ford tried the Zendrive and was like, nice, and then essentially retired the drive channel of his Dumble ODS. So he would use the clean and then use that for his lead tones. That's kind of been how it's been for ages. He got those little Walter amps, so one's 50 watt and one's 100. When he was gigging them, so he was facing them into the wall. Still incredibly loud, but incredibly good sounding. I put in earplugs anyway because I thought I don't want to go deaf, but it was great. The other thing that was interesting though, so this is maybe partly why the switches happen. So I found that the Zendrive actually reacts quite differently depending on what guitar you put into it. It's almost very sensitive to levels of input. So for instance, if you plug a Strat into it, it's not necessarily the most rewarding pedal until you start turning the gain up. Whereas if you turn a Les Paul into it, like with some higher output pickups, it's like, okay, wow, we're really cooking. So it really is fussy in terms of input, I think. So that's one kind of thing. The Simble then, I did a video on this not so long ago. Excuse me, I'll have a drink. Sorry, I was ill yesterday and the day before. But my promise to you is that while I'm alive, I'll make a video, won't I? Yes, so the Simble, basically a guy over in Finland who had worked on, I think, the only Dumble to make it into Finland. It is Finland, right? Yeah, it's Finland. Sort of made his pedal version of it. Now, is it just a Zendrive? I think you can tell from the clips that actually it's quite a bit different. So, one key difference is that the Zendrive has much higher output. So that was the first thing that I noticed when I went back to the DAW. It's like, well, I'm not really matching these in terms of volume anywhere near. So the Simble, you know, you have to sort of chuck the level way up to get a sort of similar level of output, or turn the level on the Zendrive way down. So that was one key difference. There are some other bits and pieces that are kind of similar, which is that you've got this voice setting on the Zendrive, which basically, as you turn it up, increases gain and presence. And similarly, you've got accent on the Simble, which does about the same sort of thing. And then contour is basically the same as tone. So there are definite similarities in there, but I wonder if, like, there's something different about the EQ for sure. Like, the bottom end of this is much tighter, and I would say maybe a little bit less pedal-like when I go back to it. Like, this does have a bit more of that Tube Screamer vibe to it, where I guess like what Bukovac or Rep might say is where you get this sort of tunneling effect, where it's kind of goes a little bit like honky, which is great, I think, for doing like Robben Ford type lines. But if you wanted something slightly more transparent, the Simble might be the way to go. In terms of why Robben's gone down this road, so this latest album that he's working on, coming out in 2026, I heard some of it at the show, sounds really good, sounds really interesting, and to me a little bit Eric Johnson-y. It's like the most Eric Johnson-y I've ever heard Robben Ford sound, because he was playing a Strat for the first half. Not necessarily Eric Johnson-y in terms of tone, but in terms of like some of his playing, like some of those intervals and you know, arpeggio type lines. It was really interesting stuff, to be fair. But yes, so bit more transparent, maybe a little bit more friendly with a Strat. He was either playing a 66 custom shop Strat or playing a his, you know, 60 Telly. So yeah, I think for me, when I put them side by side, I think prefer the Zendrive, but I do think the Simble has a bit more of that transparentness to it. I'm going to presume that at some point Robben is probably going to switch back, because this is, I think, what's comfortable for him. And if you know a pedal really well and it's been like part of your rig for 20 years, then I presume that it can be nice to try other things, but that there's going to be something that like you're going to be yearning for in the old Zendrive. It's been synonymous with Robben Ford, and even more important to his tone than the Dumble thing, I think, for about the last 20 years as well, because the Dumble bit switches out. The Zendrive very rarely does. So, yes, check out both pedals. I don't know, can you still get actual Zendrives unless you buy them used? Probably not. The Love pedal Zendrives that I've tried did not actually remind me much of these. Apparently these are all a little bit different because Alfonso kind of, you know, made them all in a space. This is an original Zendrive. Whereas, of course, these are, I think, factory made in Taiwan, is what they said. So, yes, two great pedals. If you want a cheaper alternative for this sort of thing, there is a Joyo Zendrive clone, which might be worth a go. I think Moore have a Rumble Drive, which might be quite similar. What else is there? A cheaper alternative would be like the Van Wielden Royal Overdrive, wouldn't it? I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers for stopping by, and thanks to the people who wish me well. Cheers.